2 days of this final test match at Headingley, but my word, the players made up for it once they got onto the field. Lots of excitement in the highlights tonight. Welcome to them, and we can tell you now how things turned out once Vivian Richards and Ian Botham went out to toss today. The two teams, after Richards had won the toss and put England into bat, were announced as the West Indies on the right-hand side there. The difference there is Lloyd is gone, still out injured, and Collis King is in. They're playing their 4 fast bowlers, plus Collis King, a medium pacer, and England quite predictably left out Graham Stevenson. They're the two teams, and the strip on which they're going to play this final test match is there in front of you. No grass. How one could get that much grass off a pitch will remain one of the mysteries of the summer. Really is scored there and very, very brown. It looked to me as though it would spin, and it would also provide some movement off the seam. And it reminded me also just a little bit, just a fraction, of that 1972 pitch here, where after similar weather, lots of rain, the strip was struck by that dreaded fusarium. We pick up play now in the first over. There's no score, and it's Michael Holding coming in. Graham Gooch is taking strike, and Jim Laker is in the commentary box.
First runs of this test match going to Graham Gooch. 2 runs there for him. So Boycott going to face Michael Holding, and Holding has already switched to a round the wicket attack. Last minute reaction there from the Yorkshireman, just pulled bat, head and everything away in the nick of time. So Geoffrey Boycott having a pretty tough time of it out there at the moment. And he's gone, he's caught it slip. So he was softened up there, and then the full-length ball, Boycott looking to drive, never in position. And the breakthrough for West Indies, disposing of Boycott for 4 to a catch by Kali Turan at first slip, with Holding the bowler. Going down with just 9 runs on the board. Comfortable single there, sees Brian Rose away. Only Haynes on the offside, able to prevent any runs in front of the wicket. No change from the football end. Here's Michael Holding. It's a lovely shot, forced away off the back foot. Haynes giving chase. And that beats him, goes through for the first boundary. It's struck very nicely off the meat of the bat. It only just made the boundary here. Further indication of how the rain has slowed down this outfield.
Slightly uppish that stroke there from Brian Rose, but it's another single on the board, and quite telling, this change already to Joel Garner, because Michael Holding had caused the damage. He certainly wasn't too tired to go on bowling, but they obviously felt there was a little bit of juice here in this pitch, that the accuracy of big Joel Garner and his height could well make use of before the ball gets any older.
He's gone, and that I think we really can put down to the variable bounce. It must have stopped there in the pitch. Gooch was playing just a normal type stroke, and lofted away there behind the square leg umpire to Marshall. The second wicket goes down at 27. Oh, what a good delivery. Kept very, very low. We saw Croft coming in, well, said that there was no great height for that ball at all. It probably hit about, well, yes, halfway up the stumps, and that a ball where he was playing across the crease. And he's away there, just the single. Put him down. Collis King introduced to the side in place of Clive Lloyd. King was at fourth slip, and it was certainly his catch, although it may have looked as though it was between the two fielders.
And looking at that, there's no doubt that ball definitely stopped a little bit, and all the batsmen are very suspicious of this wicket. It doesn't look to me like a very good test wicket.
Gadding's off the mark. Here's Croft. And he's gone. That can't be blamed on the pitch. Marshall again, it's a nice catch. Turned very firmly by Gadding. Got that right off the meat of the bat. And it would have been 4 runs if Marshall hadn't been there to intercept it. It's not where he meant it, but it is 4 runs. I suspect the system might be that you play anything short, and anything that's well up, you give it everything.
And here's a little bit of everything. Bang. Over the top of the gully.
It's safe again. Yes, I think it's plan C today, Tom. And there's the one Marshall was waiting for, but he'd need to be a long way back for that. That's Botham's reply, and a very enjoyable one too for the good crowd here today. 14 he is now, and up comes the half century for England. And it's well caught. Charan at first slip, and hardly a backward glance from Larkins. And what a time the West Indians are having.
So both of them down the far end now. Have a look at Joel Garner. And no doubt on both of them's tactics. So distrustful of this pitch, I think that anything up in his half is going to fling the bat. Steered away, no third man down there, and gets another 4 for it. It took a long time there to make up their mind they wanted the single. I think Peter Willie was quite pleased to take it. It sees him off the mark. It sees the end of Garner's over.
Kraft 9 is 11th over.
And he's gone. Oh dear, it was a dreadful shot. And nothing to do with the pitch there, nothing to do with the ball, and Peter Willie really only himself to blame. And a wide delivery. He thought he might have learned his lesson in the previous over. Well, it'll be a great cheer here for Louis Bairstow, David Bairstow. His first test match, of course, here on his home ground, and getting an excellent reception. As you'd expect, of course, because David Bairstow, a great battler, great retriever of lost causes. He won't sell himself very cheaply.
Peter Willey there, realizing that he should never have gone for that and pulling out of it too late. Going for it and then trying to pull the bat away. Clipped the bottom of the bat and a simple catch for Murray. So England in real trouble now. 59 for 6. And Willey out for 1.
Oh, that's nicely off the mark. Quite pleased to get one there from Croft, just outside leg stump. David Bairstow's made the most of it and chalks up a couple of runs. Oh, that's a pretty good shot. Perfect piece of timing there by the England captain, waiting for the one pitched up. Wasn't it? It seems with a great deal of power. He just leant into it and picked it up so very nicely over extra cover.
This really is a tremendous shot. It's difficult enough to hit spinners over extra cover or mid-off for 6. When you can hit Garner like that, really tremendous shot.
Well, he's got after him again. There's nobody down at third man. That's 4 runs too. Not possibly quite where he intended it, but one's got to take a few chances to make anything like a respectable score on this pitch. Look, he can hit it square. A little late on it.
Well, there's a little bit of captaincy there from the sidelines. We heard in the Olympics that the boxing referees often told the corners to keep quiet, no coaching from the sidelines, but that obviously was a signal there from Lloyd to Richards. Switch ends, he said.
That's 4-2, no third man. So 4 this time to David Bairstow. Just fractionally late on this shot, but it sped away at great speed. And Croft to switch the angle, coming around the wicket. And all coming alike, no mid on, and fired Bacchus has given up the chase. It wasn't a piece of very good judgment by him. Thought it had gone, and that slow outfield again, it stopped just about an inch short of the line. Didn't make any difference, of course, because plenty of time for both of them to run 4.
Another fine shot by both of them. Worked it beautifully off the toes, angled in around the wicket, and certainly the crowd, which is now not a bad one, can't complain about the excitement which they've had this afternoon. Tremendous stuff.
Great stuff indeed, and Botham and Bairstow survived 3 more overs up to the tea interval to take that score along to 85 for 6. Botham 35, Bairstow 8. They added just 4 more runs from that last 4 from the England captain. We pick up play now in the first over after tea. No more runs have been added. Marshall's bowling to Bairstow, coming in from the Kirkstall lane end, and with me in the commentary box is Ted Dexter. Don't think, well, perhaps we'll need to have a look at the replay. I was going to say, I don't think he got his hands on it. Perhaps the fingertips just brushed it. Very, very difficult one, if indeed he did. Just evaded him. just moved a little off the seam, but not much. Looked as though Bertham was, in fact, playing down the wrong line. Behind the wicket, Derek Murray doing his leg stretching exercises, a la Alan Knott. That's a very good stroke. The outfield's slow here today. And they'll just take the 2 runs. For 6. And he's gone this time. Vivian Richards has caught him at mid-off, mistiming there, and Michael Holding takes the 7th wicket for 89. 37 Ian Botham, and Holding now has 2 for 18. 89 for 7. That lofted stroke down the ground in the end proving fatal for Ian Botham, just 2 runs short of his 1,500 in Test matches. Malcolm Marshall is the bowler. Embury is not on strike, he's non-striker, and here's Bairstow. That outfield is slow, but slow as it may be, it's still quick enough to produce 4 runs from the outside edge there for Bairstow. Embury's off the mark. Their 3rd man, and once again the ball will beat Richards into the fence. Up comes the 100 for England. Vivian Richards having won the toss and put them into bat here at Headingley. Seven wickets down. 15 to Bairstow and 5 now to John Embury. It's Michael Holding now.
Really hasn't been a happy series for Derek Murray. Very difficult for him against bowling of this pace when it's pushed down the leg side as frequently as it has been in this series. And after all, he's not in the first flush of youth. He's now 37 years of age. And as far as time span is concerned, the longest serving Test cricketer in the game. And it needs a few stretching exercises when you're that age to keep up with the pace of this West Indies fast bowling attack. Well, I don't know what would have happened there if he had connected. Could well have gone all the way to Bradford. It really was a tremendous heave.
And there it is, almost an action replay. If anyone missed the first stroke, then just have a look at this one and you'll know how it was. Same ball, perhaps not quite the same power there, but still 4 runs. Four more. No fly slip, no 3rd man. And they're all valuable runs. To Bairstow, and can scarcely be a more popular 23 runs made. Yorkshireman, making his Test match debut here. He's a good runner between the wickets. 4-all run there. And David Bairstow goes on now to 27. That's a good shot too. It's a very good over for Bairstow and for England. 31 he is now. Just stick around, John. And a little comforting word from Bairstow to the man who has the injured nose. And the score has raced along now to 116 for 7. 31 to Bairstow, 37 top score Ian Botham.
Marshall again to Bairstow. And that one hurried off. Change of pace there, only just got the bat down in time, but fairly racing between the wickets. That's 2 more, and the applause there, of course, for Bairstow, who's now top scorer in this England innings. Well, he's played the hook shot, quite surprised himself. Has another look round to make sure. But middle leg extreme well. It's a brave shot there from John Embry, because if you really did get a close-up look of that nose of his, you'd realise how sore and ugly it looks at the moment. And a confident shout, and Bairstow goes in Palmer, no hesitation. Well, David Bairstow's been walking in there looking to push it away on the onside, and that's the way he was finally dismissed here. But a fine, brave, bold effort this from David Bairstow. 40 out of a total of 131 for 8, making him very comfortably England's top scorer to date. So 131 for 8, Bairstow gone for 40, and another shot from the Kirk's lane end camera, and looking pretty plumb. That's a good shot by Chris Holt, stroked away very nicely off the back foot, racing away down the pavilion, and he's away with a very handsome 4.
Beautifully timed stroke this. And Chris Holt put right across and beautifully timed through the gully. 4 runs all the way.
That's out. Lovely catch straight into the midriff there of Big Joe Garner. Chris Holt goes, 9 are out for 140. Chris Holt out for 6. So Marshall picking up another wicket. Not dissimilar to the way in which Graham Gooch went earlier, when lurking around behind there. It's Big Garner this time. Made no mistake at all. 140 for 9. Embury remains on 11, with just Graham Dilley to come. So, calm piece of batting up there by England's number 11, Dillies. Looking quite unconcerned and striking everything so far in the middle of the bat. Maybe we should think about changing our order around a bit. And he's yoked him with a real good one. That's the best way to get rid of number 11. More ways than one. 143 then as Dillies bowled by Garner. Ideal delivery there for the number 11 batsman. Got him in a fearful tangle, just in the end knocked over the leg bail. So 143 on the board.
It's a most uneven looking scorecard, that, but the way England started, losing those quick wickets up the top, it never really looked like getting past the 150 mark as far as I was concerned. 40 to Bairstow, 37 to Botham, and 13 not out to Embury. All played well in their own individual styles. The bowlers, a very good performance from those 4 men. All fit again, and able to take their place in this West Indies team for the final encounter. All bowled round about the same number of overs, holding 2 wickets, Croft 3, Garner 3, and Marshall 2. So England 143, and at the close of play, 20 for no wicket West Indies, with Haynes 13 and Greenwich 6. Just one moment of alarm for them, and that was when Gordon Greenwich was facing Chris Old, and Old got a good one to cut away from him, found the outside edge of the bat, and Bairstow and Gooch between them couldn't make the catch, and I'm afraid it must go down as a question mark against David Bairstow, because he was moving to the left, going down the leg side, had to push back, started to go for the catch, and finally neither he nor Gooch able to get a glove on it or a hand. 20 for no wicket then, West Indies, 6 to Greenwich, 13 to Haynes, and tomorrow, I think quite obviously, will be the crucial day of this Test match. It's the day where the England bowlers can win the match. They say that bowlers win matches and batsmen quite often save them or give the bowlers the chance by making enough runs. Well, there's not many runs to play with tomorrow, and England's bowlers have to return the compliment shown them by the West Indians today. Great day then for David Bairstow, his debut at Headingley, and 1 or 2 good performances from the England side. The pitch, that'll pose problems for the batsmen all the way through this game, and for the skippers of both sides. For me, the man of the day was Vivian Richards. He didn't do very much out on the field, except captain his side. The first time he's ever led the West Indies in a full Test match. He's been acting skipper when Clive Lloyd's been hurt before. What a great day it was for him to win the toss, put England in, and bowl out the old enemy for only 143. Good night. A nasty, grey, dull day at Headingley, and what better conditions for the England bowlers to bowl out West Indies after they themselves had made only 143 yesterday. West Indies started today, the second actual playing day of this match, at 20 for no wicket. Greenwich and Haynes, the not-out batsman. The pitch, well, I should be very surprised if today it doesn't play all manner of tricks. Variable heights yesterday, a lot of movement off the seam, and we still don't know if the ball is going to turn. No spinner yet has brought over his arm. We pick up play now in the 4th over of the day. Chris Old is the bowler. He's coming in to bowl to Gordon Greenwich from the Kirkstall Lane end of the ground. The score is 30 for naught. West Indies have added just 10 to their overnight total. It's well stopped. I suppose in the sense that it hit him on the full. Must have been some sort of chance of him hanging onto it. Read all sorts of stories about fieldsmen crossing their arms and closing their knees and taking miraculous catches. But in that instance, it just didn't stick. I think it's probably going to be one of those days. A big leg cutter, just a bit too good. John Abrams, he's taken Graham Stevenson's place as 12th man, He's on subbing at the moment for Brian Rose. And a bit of movement away from the bat there.
Now that's the one Chris Holt's been looking for. Oh, didn't it go? Sharp leg break.
Oh dear, oh dear. Restrained and contained himself all that time. And I'm absolutely certain that there was no way in which that ball was short enough to play such a shot.
No, an absolute nightmare of a shot. And it must have been very, very close to the off stump. He's had his little flash and got away with it, so I suspect he'll be getting his head down again now.
Over pitch this time and driven quite firmly through mid-on. Johnny Abrams giving chase, but the ball always going to win. So Chris Holt won't think much to that. Within a fraction of an inch of picking up his wicket, and the very next ball is driven away for 4. That's middled very effectively all right this time. Nice delivery there from both of them, and he's very cross with himself about that. Not quite middled, but going away with sufficient force there to find that long off boundary. So the 50 comes up. 52 on the board in the 21st over. 26 of those to Haynes, 20 to Greenwich. Tremendous shout going up, particularly from second slip, but the old spinner there gave it a great shout. A little response there from both of them. Missed the bat. I want to think about it. Look at the second slip going up. He's roaring up in the air, but both of them knew, in fact, that the batsman had missed it by a good 3 or 4 inches.
And that'll be 4. The outfield is quickened up here at Headingley, and that's running down the slope. And when the chance came, Graham Gooch couldn't hold it. That's the one they've been waiting for, the first real chance. There's been lots of balls gone past the edge, but that's the first one that's gone to hand, and Gooch put it down. A little slow to move there, and it hit him on the hard part of the hand, back towards the wrist. John Embury. He's about to bowl his first over. This is the 33rd of the innings. And it's happened at long last. And John Embury, willed on by many of us, has finally achieved the breakthrough. 83 for 1. That was a good innings from Desmond Haynes. And not just the wicket is being acclaimed by the crowd there, but also the fact that Haynes has stuck at it yesterday afternoon and right through to within 10 minutes of lunch today. 83 for 1. And a very good performance from Desmond Haynes. And the ball is turning. Not turning quickly. There's no grass or firmness about the pitch. And there goes another chance. Gooch has already put down one. And Bairstow, the man, racing away down to the boundary with no chance of cutting it off. 4 more to Greenwich. And this has been a most exciting and frustrating session. And that should have been too far. Gordon Greenidge is 30. He too has played well. Haynes and Greenidge quite out of character on a pitch that really doesn't lend itself to too much stroke play, an orthodox variety. And they had a great opening partnership of 83. The shout was catch it went in the air. It's got Vivian Richards off the mark. Just 5 more runs added to take that lunchtime score along to 95 for 1. Plenty of dramas in the morning. My word, the ball did move off the seam just as we thought it might, and it was one of those things where we had to wait a long time to see if the ball would turn. As soon as John Embury came on, it was nice to see him pick up the scalp of Desmond Haynes. Well, we pick up play now after lunch. It's the 4th over, and it's John Embury bowling to Vivian Richards. Wonder of wonders, it's an off spinner. We have another one in the commentary box, and the West Indies have moved along to 99.
Well, he doesn't like to be pinned down, this man Richards. No way, I don't think that they can bowl to him very long with that sort of feel. Hammers it for 6 over long on. And showing that it's very difficult for any off-spinner to bowl to Viv Richards without a man out. And immediately they're both of them up to have a word with Embury. So a fine way to bring up the 100 for West Indies. Cluster of close fielders, and that's the Richards answer. And he's out this time. Both of them finally ends and innings of Gordon Greenidge, totally out of character. Up goes the Bill Ali finger, and West Indies are 105 for 2. 34 then for Gordon Greenidge, falling LBW to both of them. So Richards on 13, both of them to bowl to him. And particularly good delivery there. Richards committed to the shot, lifted and left him. And even too good a ball for Richards to get an edge to. It's a lovely shot. And the front foot, 4 runs all the way. Richards moving on to 17 now. Total. 110 for 2. Let's pierce the gap. It gets Bacchus underway. Peter Woolley giving chase with Embury in support. Little back heel. Coordination not of the greatest between the two. And Five Bacchus gets off the mark with 3 runs. No real justice here for Chris Old. Built a very good length and line. Longish spell. Could so easily have had a couple of wickets. But still to take one. And there again, it's 4 fairly streaky runs for Viv Richards. They all count, but had no intention of finding that particular boundary here. Good shot of that from the Kirksall Lane end. He's going to try and hammer it through that mid-off area again. The ball cutting back late off the pitch. Eventually picks 4 up way down at deep square leg. So he goes on to 23, 1-23 the score. Beaten cover point. Shot off the back foot. It's Bacchus down. They're starting to run very well and make 3 into it for Richards.
And he's gone. inside edge. And Chris Holt has broken through with the assistance of the batsman. A little bit of ill fortune there for Vivian Richards, but at long last, England have had a little bit of good luck. Very good shot off the back foot by Fode Bacchus. Takes him now on to 11. Fletcher on 2. Dilly, caught and bowled. The change has worked. Bacchus turning away onto simple catch to Dilly, and it's 142 for 4.
And this was definitely a case of the wicket. The ball just held up a little bit. Bacchus playing it on the onside. And a gentle catch back to Graham Dilly. And England fighting back here. As well they need to.
Say no there. That was always likely to be a nervous second run. John Abrahams, the field. Say no there. That was always likely to be a nervous second run. John Abrahams, the field. Mark then with it was very much a hard pitch stroke to take the scores. The fielder. 150 on the board now, so it's a lead of 7 runs, 6 wickets in hand. Every run now priceless for West Indies and difficult for England. It's done it again. Both of them this time.
Ian Botham trouble there when he missed that catch off Chris Holt, the finger, retiring. And the interesting thing, he was going to captain England in the meantime. Brian Rose must be a candidate. He's already off the field. One would anticipate it that Jeff Boycott really must take over. Boycott gone into a third slip anyway now. That's a goodie shot from Kelly Trown. Before runs there, the first time he's really connected. Been pinned down by this accurate England attack. And he's gone this time, the edge is there, and Bairstow has made the catch. Good bowling change made by Boycott here, bringing Gooch on. And he's broken this very stubborn partnership. Wallace King goes for 12, which leaves West Indies now 170 for 5. That's short and beautifully hooked away by Murray. Races away down to the deep square leg boundary.
Just one more over bowled up to tea, that by Graham Gooch, and 2 runs came off that. Took it along to 179 for 5. Kalicharan had played quite adequately up to tea there, and the England bowlers very frustrated. Each had 1 wicket to his name. Graham Gooch coming on just before the tea interval to pick up 1 for 2 from 2 overs, 1 maiden. We pick up play now in the first over after tea. Just 3 runs added, 182 for 5 the score.
Over pitch, the full toss, and that's 4 more. Straight down the ground with the football stand in.
Gone. Derek Murray, that was an absolute beast of a ball. It fairly exploded from just short of a good length. John Embury taking the catch, pouching it neatly, and it's 198 for 6. Bairstow's picked him up this time. Marshall goes for naught, and England are right in this game now. Although they're just over 50 behind. 198 for 7, and Marshall is caught Bairstow bowled Dilly.
And with a little bit of luck, they can hold this lead down to reasonable proportions and get back in the game later tonight and all day on Monday.
There's 4 of them. $200 for 7. 102 for 7. And Alvin Kalicharan goes into the 30s. 32 he is. That's a good safe catch there to John Embury. Joel Garner's gone without scoring. 207 for 8. Kalicharan is still 37 not out. And Graham Gooch picks up another wicket. Graham Dilly now new over to Kalicharan. And he's got a big out this time, yes. Dilly strikes again. Wayne Larkins at cover. Kalicharan gone for 37, and wickets tumbling here, and Headingley all over the place. 207 now for 9.
Waited for the one pitched up and has put it away very nicely through mid-off. So these are quite valuable runs coming from this last wicket pair. Michael Holding. It's all now to Holding. And he's found a big gap on the leg side. It's belted away to square leg for 4. It's not been one of the greatest days for watching cricket. It's been quite cool out there most of the day. Great shortage of sunshine. Disappointment to them all on Thursday when no play was possible at all. But they're here in good numbers today. That's gone like a rocket through mid-off. A short arm jab almost there, not at 4 for Holding. One of those days for bowlers. They beat the bat time after time. When the batsman middles it, it races away for 4.
And there's the end. Michael Holding plays on. Bowled old 35. Colin Croft not out 1. The West Indies innings ends at 245. A lead of 102. And that's a very dangerous looking lead on this pitch. Indeed, it was a very dangerous looking lead, and the ball had moved around so much that it was quite clear the bowlers would remain on top for the rest of this game. A great opening partnership there between Greenwich and Haynes, 83 runs, and good batting all the way down the list there. A couple of ducks interspersed with Holding making 35 and Kalitra in the middle of the order 37. But a great last wicket partnership between Michael Holding and Colin Croft. The bowlers, a frustrating day for them. Dilly 4 for 79, Old 2 for 64, both of them 1 for 31. Embury vastly underbowled, in my opinion, 1 for 25, and Gooch 2 for 18. And by the close, 20 minutes to bat, England had made 22 without loss. Gooch not out 12, Boycott not out 9. They had to get through 5 fiery overs, 3 of them from Michael Holding. He only got to go at Jeff Boycott towards the end of the day, and he beat him with an absolute beauty, just about 3 balls from the close of play. Boycott and Gooch survived, 22 without loss. The lead for the West Indies now is 80. Today was most intriguing. I can tell you that Monday, when play resumes, will be equally so. The ball is very much on top. It's moving off the seam both ways. Very little movement in the air, just occasional movement there, and there is some spin. But that's not going to worry the West Indians. They don't have a spinner, and their pace bowlers will be ripping into the England batsmen again on Monday. The men who have to give England a great start, those 2 who were there at the close of play tonight. Graham Gooch, staunch, and he's been around since 1975, courageous. Geoffrey Boycott, a true professional and a great player. They must give England a good start if they're to have a chance of squaring this series. Good night. Astonishing job done by the ground staff here at Headingley. The rain belted down yesterday and most of last night, and Keith Boyce and his men still managed to get the game away on time here. The final day of this final Cornhill Test match. 22 for no wicket at the start of play. England in their second innings. Here's the first over of the day. No addition to the score. Colin Croft is bowling, and Geoffrey Boycott, the local hero, taking strike with Jim Laker in the commentary box.
It's a real vicious one there. Signal was 4-leg buys by Bill Alley. And, a really nasty delivery. Just striking Boycott around about the shoulder. Shot over pitched, chase there for Desmond Haynes. He's not taking any chances at all. It's always been one of the damper parts of the ground there in front of the pavilion, where the players, of course, have their net practice. Holding to Gooch. There's a nice full toss, 4 runs. Make the most of the loose delivery. Don't get too many of those from Holding.
That's real experience and years and years of effort in there.
So he settled down again. Croft back over the wicket to him, and there's trouble here. Oh dear, dear, they were very, very lucky, very fortunate there. They got in a great tangle again. It's gone through for 4 overthrows. So a bit of good fortune there, the 50 going on the board. We've got pushing this on the leg side. See him set off for a run, and then decides as Gooch has got halfway down to send him back. If that throw had been accurate, of course, poor old Graham Gooch would have been on his way again. Instead, Boycott picked up 4 runs for it. So it goes on to 20 now. No abatement in that wind out there. It's still blowing like fury right across the pitch. Just short there of forward short leg. Nearly pushed that into fired Bacchus's hand. Just as you can see there, inches away. That's raced away down to third man. Not where he intended it, of course. It fairly flew off the outside edge. So, perhaps Graham Gooch heard your last few remarks, did? But after some quick runs. So, Vivian Richards making his first change of the morning, with Malcolm Marshall coming on to take over from Colin Croft.
Bald. Seeing a little earlier that Marshall doesn't bother now coming around the wicket at Boycott. He's over there to Graham Gooch. Gooch only just fractionally outside off stump there. That's not far away. Just going down the leg side, I'd say. Cut back to beat that defensive stroke. Tom Graveney's in the commentary box with us now.
And Malcolm Marshall's bowling a very good spell here, and that just cut back a little bit. I think it probably would have missed the leg stump. These two batsmen are not very happy with each other running between the wickets. There's a lot of indecision, I'm afraid.
Bacchus, fielder there. And Joel Garner has finished his first over, and that may well be it. It might... I wonder if he's done that groin muscle again. He was under an injury cloud before the start of the game, but he's done nothing in the meantime that might have appeared likely to aggravate it. At any rate, he's going off the field, and to replace Joel Garner out in the centre is Derek Parry. Doesn't make all that many appearances on the field as a player, but as a 12th man, he's very useful, a very good fielder. I've seen a mixture of cricket over the series, some very good, some ordinary, as happens in any test series, I suppose, but 42 hours out of a 5-test series is really desperate as far as the paying spectator is concerned, and not a great deal anyone can do about it. Desmond Haynes will pick that up for just 2 runs.
He's found the gap all right this time. That's 4 runs for Graham Gooch. Quite a half volley, particularly good shot there from Graham Gooch, because Marshall had kept both these batsmen pinned down in a very good and accurate spell. Single off the no ball brings Graham Gooch his 10th 50 in Test match cricket. He's made out of an opening stand there of 90 with Jeff Boycott. And in a good time, just 108 minutes. He's only received 84 balls and included 6 fours in it. spread around much more defensively now. And a bit of movement is out this time. Up goes umpire Ali's finger, and Malcolm Marshall, who's threatened to destroy Graham Gooch once or twice, LBW. But the fourth or fifth appeal he's had, and this time it's answered in his favour. So the first wicket goes down for England on 95 with Gooch. LBW to Marshall. He goes for 55.
So there's Gooch. Leg before to Marshall, the ball cutting back quite sharply, in fact. Appreciable cut for Marshall. Gooch, in fact, today has been given a few problems with that ball cutting back into him from Marshall, and also by King's in-swinger. So that's a deserving reward for Marshall to have had that wicket. He has beaten the bat several times in this spell.
Led quite nicely into that, getting 2 runs, staying safely off the mark. That's a very important innings, of course, for Wayne Larkins. Almost any time now, the teams for the Prudential one-day matches against Australia will be named, and of course the centenary test match to follow. Marshall to Boycott. There's the quickly taken single which brings up the 3 figures for England. 100 going up on the board in the 30th over. Boycott there since the start has made 31 of them. And, it's been a very cold morning out there for the West Indies. This very strong wind still blowing across the ground. And the field really back on the defensive. Collis King bowls again. And Boycott plays a glorious shot, and as good a shot as he's played all morning, doesn't make a run for it because Backus pulled off a really great stop there.
One more over bowled up to the luncheon interval. Just 5 runs coming from it. That over was bowled by Malcolm Marshall. Took the score along to 109 for 1. Boycott 37. And Wayne Larkins was 6. Here's the 3rd over after lunch now. It's Colin Croft bowling again to Geoffrey Boycott. 7 runs have been added, 116 for 1, and in the commentary box with me is Tom Graveney. You won't see anything better than that. Be nice to watch that again.
Geoffrey Boycott here, beautifully in position. Left foot just goes a little bit, but he gets in position and times that absolutely perfectly. And shot away through mid-wicket. No chance for any fielders at all. That is the best shot that Geoffrey Boycott has played in this innings.
Very wise second choice by Geoff Boycott there. Pitch is slow as this one. Anything short like that is incomplete to Geoffrey Boycott.
Another very good stroke from Geoff Boycott. Right across there, into the middle of the bat. And that, in fact, is the 3rd nasty short pitch delivery that Geoff Boycott has had to face this over.
Well, he's going to have to go, but I'll be interested to see what Ken Palmer has to say to Colin Croft, apart from well bowled. Caught Kalicharan, bowled Croft. Boycott goes for 47.
Well, my own feeling is that he's bowled about 5 bouncers this over, and that, in my book, is intimidation. So, it doesn't look as though Palmer's going to say anything to Croft. I must say I'm very, very surprised.
That's well controlled and beautifully fielded. And a lovely off-balance throw, even though it wasn't quite over the top of the bails. Oh, close, very close indeed. And that's Michael Holding's breakthrough. I don't think there's much doubt about that. He's beaten for pace there, Mike Gatting. And Holding is through him. Third wicket goes down, 129 on the board. Gatting has gone for 1. Brian Rose is the man coming out on the right of your picture. He has a torn muscle. He'll be able to use a runner. The runner is Graham Gooch. 129 for 3.
Yes, it does seem strange, this reluctance with both Rose and being both injured, that Peter Willey has not been shifted up the order. He's played 2 match-saving innings, one at Manchester and one again at the Oval, and got runs. It seemed an ideal opportunity to give him the chance to go in higher up the order here, albeit only at number 5.
Suddenly, England's lead of 27, with 3 wickets down, begins to look a little on the tiny side. An injured batsman in now, Rose, another one both of them to come, Holding bowling. And a nice start for Brian Rose.
That's a nice, remarkable shot. 6 off the top edge.
Short one, that's pulled away very nicely for 4 runs. So the 150 comes up. And a 4 going into the book.
Oh, yes, I'm afraid that's got to go. Kept a little bit low. Larkins has gone for 30. LBW to Marshall.
Well, it's almost identical ball to the Graham Gooch dismissal. Just short of a length, and Marshall gets this ball to skid on.
That's safe, and it's a great moment for Ian Botham because that's his 1500th run in Test cricket, and it's a great double for him, moving from 1499 to 1500, and he's also taken 150 wickets in Test matches. Botham's performance follows on him beating Vinu Mankad's record of fastest to the Test double of 1,000 runs and 100 wickets. I think that came off the pad. And I have a feeling that Croft didn't really go up for it at the start. He just followed up what started as a half-hearted appeal down there. But I think it flicked the pad on the way through rather than the inside edge of the bat. And he's gone. Ian Botham gone. LBW to Malcolm Marshall. Played 7, and Brian Rose is 13, 174 for 5 now. Peter Willey. And he's facing Colin Croft. Off the mark. And the other runner, Graham Gooch, just making his ground at the far end there. Those of you who are wondering why Gooch is dressed as he is, the runner has to wear normal equipment. He can't go out there without pads. Might assist him in running faster. Could, I suppose, dispense with his gloves, but he certainly couldn't dispense with the pads and the bat. Doesn't have to wear a helmet. I rather like that shot.
Might have even been an approving nod from Ken Palmer, the umpire, without perhaps showing it, because Ken tells me he used to bowl long hours at Brian Rose in the nets down at Somerset.
Derek Curry's not going to be too pleased about that, but that's nothing to the way Colin Croft will feel, as those 4 runs go onto his bowling figures. Great shot. Really nice piece of cricket, that. And bought the luxury of a little half smile there. 189 for 5 at tea, 25 to Rose. He was playing extremely well at that stage. Willey was not out 1. And the only England wicket to fall after the tea interval was that of Peter Willey, who got an absolute beauty from Michael Holding. Some very good bowling from Holding today. Bowled very fast, so too did Croft. And Willey couldn't do much at all about the delivery that dismissed him. Moved away a little bit, found the outside edge, and Derek Murray did the rest. So 227 for 6. In the end, Ian Botham declared at 20 minutes past 5. That was the end of the game, a rain-marred match. Bad luck for both sides. And Brian Rose remained 43 not out, an extremely good innings, that. He took everything the West Indians threw at him today. And David Bairstow at the end, quite nicely not out at 9. A great match for him. Top scorer in the first innings in his debut test. The West Indian bowling, Michael Holding 2 for 62. Colin Croft 1 for 65. He only picked up 1 wicket, but my word, there was plenty of firepower out there today with Colin Croft, and Malcolm Marshall 3 for 42. He came in. It was a nice little result for him in the last test match of the series. Well, the presentations were made by John Owlett. He was the adjudicator of the man of the match and the man of the series in this final Cornhill test, and he nominated Desmond Haynes as the man of the match for his performance in the West Indies first innings, where he shared that partnership with Gordon Greenidge, and he nominated Joel Garner as man of the series for his purposeful and penetrative bowling throughout. It was a very fine performance from Garner. Unfortunately, he wasn't on the field today. You saw in those bowling figures he bowled just the 1 over, and then he had to retire with shoulder trouble. Well, after the match and after the presentations, Peter West had a word with Ian Botham and West Indian skipper Clive Lloyd.
Clive, can we say congratulations on winning the series and commiserations to you personally for the injury problems you've had?
Yes, thank you, Peter. It was, I suppose, a bit of a disappointment not finishing, starting at least in this test match. But it wasn't to be, so, the fellas played extremely well. Viv, I thought, handled the side quite well for the first time, and I was quite happy with the result.
It really has been a watery series here, and you've lost about the equivalent of 7 whole days' play.
Yeah, it seems a lot longer, actually, because it's been unfortunate for both sides. I think it could have been a very entertaining series, but we've just been stopping and going, and people haven't been able to get into rhythms. and get any kind of form. So it's, you know, it's been the same now in county games as well. So it's been a terrible year for us.
So the series depended, the outcome of it, on one positive result at Trent Bridge. And do you feel now, looking back on that, I mean, that was touch and go either way, wasn't it, Ian?
Yeah, it was. You know, cricket's a game of ifs and buts. You know, it was a good game. It showed the kind of cricket that could have been played if we'd have got away with the weather, but it wasn't to be. So unfortunately, it was probably a little bit tamer than it could have been.
Do you feel, Clive, that if the weather had been kinder, you would have won this series by a larger margin?
Yes, well, as I said, as Ian said, ifs and buts.
I don't suppose Ian would agree with you. I'm not.
Well, I presume that we probably might have had a better run, actually, because I think things were tipped in our favour quite a few times. But there again, we would have had the area to sort of manoeuvre. We would have been able to know the really strengths and the weaknesses of one another in a 5-day test of such. We haven't had that. So I suppose it has turned out that we really don't know that much still about one another. But it's unfortunate the weather stopped things. But there's another series in the West Indies, and I'm sure we wouldn't have this much rain anymore.
I was just wondering what you would say would be the West Indies' pluses to emerge from this series, Clive. Perhaps the batting of Desmond Haynes?
Yes, Malcolm Marshall and Fawad Backers. I thought they played very well. Those are the three that I thought that, and they're all young players, so it's a good thing for us actually that they've come through. Desmond Haynes and Fawad, to an extent, have never played in England. You know, they've never experienced English conditions, and they've done extremely well. And
what about from the England point of view, Ian?
I think without a doubt the biggest plus is Graham Dilley. You know, I think he's done marvellously well, and I think he's going to make a few batsmen jump for a few years to come. Because the guy, you know, he has genuine pace. It's nice to see from an Englishman.
Graham Gooch, who's really arrived.
Brian
Rose.
Yeah, Gucci worked very hard this last winter in Australia, and it's paid dividends for him. And Rosie, I think, has probably been a little bit unlucky to be out of the international scene for as long as he has.
I must ask you this question because there's been a lot of public comment about it, and you must guess what it is, the overrates. The West Indies overrate, Clive, was less than 14 an hour, and the England one was nothing to be proud of, Ian, that was less than 15 an hour. What can be done about it?
Well, I just suppose people, because of county cricket, people think, you know, they're bowling 18 and 19 overs in an hour. But they're running up and down, you know. I mean, you can't play test cricket like that. You've got to be methodical in what you're doing. When you're going back to your mark, you've got to think about what you're doing because you're playing against test-class players. It's obvious that I think both sides would like to bowl 16 in an hour if it were possible. But when you look back at Lords, Graham Gooch was batting extremely well. Nobody talked about overrate. When he was batting at the Oval and he made 83 splendid runs, nobody talked about overrate. But all of a sudden, the last couple of test matches, it's the overrate and the overrate. I think if good cricket is played and runs are being scored, regardless if you have fast bowlers or not, you know, I mean, people want to see good cricket. How many of them think about the overrate?
What's your slant, Ian?
Well, the way I see it is if I was captain of England and I had four quick bowlers that Clive's got, I'd be inclined to play them all and inclined to bowl them all. So I think that's just a modern thing. I personally, obviously, we would like to see it as players, and like Clive said, we'd all like to bowl 16 overs now. But I just don't think in Test cricket today, it's completely, you know, that's not the most important thing in my book. The most important thing is getting out there and winning. People might say, well, if you don't bowl the overs, you're not going to win, but I don't know.
One last question, Ian, and also congratulations on your appointment as captain for the two Prudential one-day internationals and the Cornhill Centenary Test match. Now, you must be really looking forward to getting stuck in against the Australians.
Yes, it'll be very nice. You know, I think they're going to seem like military medium after what we've had this summer. I don't mean that as derogatory at all towards the Australian team, but I think the lads are really looking forward to it, and we just hope the weather stays good for the Centenary Test, and if it's anything like the game that was in Australia, it'll be a great game for the spectators.
And you can look forward to crossing swords again in the Caribbean, where no doubt the sun might be a little warmer than it's been here.
Well, we're only 1-0 down, there's 5 to go, so...
You've got to be selected for us these days, you see, so they've retired me already, so I don't know.
Well, we can go out and be baggage men.
Thanks very much.
Military medium, eh? Well, I'm not too sure if Dennis Lilly and Lenny Pascoe and Jeff Thompson will be too pleased about that. They've won one match against Hampshire so far. struggled a little bit in the present game against Surrey. And the next match we look forward to, in fact, at Test match level, is the centenary test between Ian Botham's side and the team over here at the moment, led by Greg Chappell. So that's the end of the West Indies-England series. A lot of good cricket played, some very ordinary. You've heard that Ian Botham and Clive Lloyd have their own ideas on one of the contentious matters of the summer, that to do with over rates. They're entitled to their opinion in exactly the same way as I'm entitled to mine. It just happens not to coincide with theirs. So good night. It's nice to have had you throughout this series, and we look forward to having you again with us when the Cornhill Centenary Test match is played.